Your children deserve contemporary training in development of critical thinking and creativity skills. To fill the gap in our community, the Kith Kin British Academy was conceived. It is different from the conventional concept of teaching and learning. We prepare the student to write checkpoint, SSC, NECO, IGCSE, TOEFL, SAT examinations. Entrance examination for GSS 1 Year 7 will hold on Saturday 8th February 2025, Saturday 5th April 2025, and Saturday 7th June 2025. Venue KKIC Owode Ibeshi. Time 10 a.m. For more inquiries, visit www.kithankinschools.com or call 091 20408860 or 091 20408855. Kith Kin, we are resourceful. Accountability, integrity, and love. So caught up.
Good evening, listeners and viewers. You're welcome to the first episode of Kith Kin International College's weekly program. Our program is going to be titled Kith Kin Half Hour Radio. We students of Kith Kin are going to be presenting on a very pressing issue worldwide. I am not only your favorite anchor, but the main lead of today's radio program. My name is Alamu Tumlayo, and here with me today are
Chimamanda,
and today we are going to be addressing the topic of juvenile delinquency. So, Celestina, what do you think you can tell me about juvenile delinquency?
Well, from my perspective, I think juvenile delinquency should refer to those young teenagers of this generation who partake in immoral activities that are beyond the social vices or conduct of the community.
Thank you. So basically, juvenile delinquency can be divided into two very familiar words: the word juvenile and delinquency. Juvenile is anyone typically under the age of 18, and commonly the word juvenile is mistaken with a youth who is actually an individual in his young adult years, which range from 18 to 21. While delinquency refers to any activities that would go against the social norms or set guidelines of the community. So put together, juvenile delinquency refers to anyone typically under the age of 18 who engages in criminal activities or social vices that go against the social norms and sets guidelines and principles of the community. Today, juvenile delinquency is a very pressing issue worldwide because it not only affects the offender, but the family, community, and society as a whole. Amida, from time to time, you can't tell me that you don't take a pen that isn't yours in class.
Well, as they say,
Desperate time calls for desperate measures.
thank you. So whenever I need a pen, and they say desperate times call for desperate measures, and at that particular moment, I'm so desperate to have a pen because the teacher is already in class and everything. So if I see a pen lying around, I'll just have to take it and you know. But firstly, I have to ask the whole class who owns the pen.
And are you sure you always ask the class?
Well, it depends if I'm not in a rush or anything. But if I'm in a rush, I obviously have to take the pen and not ask anybody.
But even though this is a very little form, you know this is a form of juvenile delinquency because you are basically stealing.
Yeah.
So in relation to this scenario that I just discussed with Amida, you can see that not all juveniles always engage in these activities out of restlessness or curiosity, but because they are left stranded with no other choice or option. Sometimes these juveniles may be going through consequences or factors that influence these said criminal activities from home or from the surroundings, but we don't know about this. So it isn't always advised to quickly rush and judge juveniles who are caught engaging in these social vices. So basically, every cause has its origin, or every problem has its origin, sorry. So now I'm going to be handing over the stage to Amida to give us an depth on some of the causes of juvenile delinquency.
Thank you, Domina, for giving me an opportunity to express myself. Like you said, every problem has its origin. So on the causes of juvenile delinquency, we have so many causes of juvenile delinquency, but I'm going to be discussing a few. Firstly, we have family environments. As we all know, the family is the primary socializing agent for children, and its influence is profound. Dysfunctional family dynamics such as parental neglect, abuse, or even divorce contributes to juvenile delinquency. A lack of supervision or inconsistent discipline often leads to behavioral issues in children. Additionally, growing up in a family where criminal behaviors can be normalized can predispose a child to juvenile delinquency. Do you also know that peer influence can also be a cause of juvenile delinquency? Now let me explain. Adolescents are highly susceptible to peer pressure. Associating with friends or groups involved in criminal activities increases the likelihood of delinquency, and also the desire to fit in or gain acceptance by peers can push minors to engage in behaviors they might otherwise avoid. Lastly, we have mental health issues. Psychological problems such as anxiety, depression, or even conduct disorders can also lead to juvenile delinquency. Minors struggling with untreated mental health issues may act out in living ways as a coping mechanism. Thank you. So, Chimamanda, please can you give us more on the causes of juvenile delinquency?
Thank you, Amida. Well, I think poverty is one of the causes of juvenile delinquency. Let's say a young juvenile goes to a school where he sees his fellow peers flaunting the latest devices, iPhones, smartwatch, and calculator. He might also feel the need to want to take part in criminal activities just so he can fit in and feel among with his fellow peers. And there's also the need of helping his struggling family, because poverty is also one of the reasons why juveniles take part in those criminal activities. So there's also an instance, one of my cousins actually knew someone who was caught stealing from school, teachers' phones and other things. And when he tried to explain himself, um, he said he wanted to help his family, that they were mostly almost some days they don't eat, and he was just trying to help them, that he didn't really mean to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chimamanda, and over to you, Tunaya.
Thank you, Amida and Chimamanda, for giving us a beautiful explanation on some of the causes of juvenile delinquency. As you can see, some of the main factors influencing these causes of juvenile delinquency are family and peer pressure. So, to our adult listeners, especially our parents, we need to ensure that you can always keep a keen eye on the friends that your child interacts with and the peer that they run around with and go with in your neighborhood, your compound, to even places like your school and church. And you always need to make sure that you raise your child morally right from a young age. Because these principles, these guidelines can't just be suddenly instilled into your child, but they have to be gradually, time after time, instilled into your child to ensure that these children adapt and abide by these set principles. So now, I picked up a factor influencing family background as a cause of juvenile delinquency, and I would like to ask a question. When a family goes through divorce, like a couple, a married couple go through divorce, do you think the divorce should be a reason for the child to engage in all these acts like juvenile delinquency, or it should just be a problem that affects the divorce couple?
Thank you. Personally, I feel, you know, in most cases, when parents are going through divorce, they only focus on how, they only focus on how they want the divorce to be and how to get the divorce paper signed and who wants to get custody over the child. So in that case, the child might, feel, oh, my parents don't have time for me, and they're not giving me attention. And from that, peer pressure can come in and they'll ask their friends for advice and all. So they can get engaged in juvenile delinquency so that their family can or their parents can, you know, um so that their parents can um give them attention again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This divorce question reminds me of a scenario which recently happened and I heard about. So basically, there was a boy caught stealing, and when he was caught and asked questions about what drove him into stealing, he he gave his parents having a divorce as his reason. So basically, his mom and his dad were divorced, and his mom wasn't able to cater for not only him but for his younger brother, and his dad wasn't able to provide the normal allowance given to the parents in custody of the child weekly. So he had no other choice but to go out of his way to steal, to not only fend for himself but provide for his mother and his younger sibling. Because of this divorce, there was a vacuum, there was an empty father figure in the family who wasn't able to provide and sustain the family. So the child was left with no other choice but to steal. So with this scenario explained, you can see that not all children or juveniles who engage in these social vices and criminal activities actually do it to the detriment of themselves or the community, but because they are left with no other options, and factors from home actually affect the decision making. So now we're going to be going on a short commercial break. Don't forget to stay tuned and wait for more. Thank you.